Good evening, good evening. Once again, it's your friends, your family, True Streets from True Streets. I could have been a pastor. I am the Hood Guru. How's everybody out there doing this evening? I hope everybody's out there doing fine. Everybody's blessed. Once again, thank you all for chiming in. Y'all ready? Let's get this thing started. Start it up. All right. Today is no special area of talking. Today I'm just going to let y'all know what my plans for 2022 is. Well, I've been online and then I've been on YouTube and a couple of other places checking out my new idea. And for the ones who don't know me, I am a chef, certified, went to school for it, taught class, taught people how to cook, taught my sons all how to cook. So yeah, now cooking's been in my family. It's a bunch of chefs and cooks and bakers in my family for years, before me and probably be after me. But anyway, as I was saying, so my thoughts forever has been to own my own establishment. You know, when I first moved up here in 2012 to North Carolina, I came up here with that idea, and when I first came, I thought that was it. I thought I was in the game. You know, I had them cook for a couple of functions, a couple of gatherings. Churches started making some decent money, you know. Highest ever made it in the day was like $1,200, but that's just, like I said, didn't have a building. It wasn't like I had it set up like a food truck. I just had my grill and stuff and a couple things I cooked at the house earlier and brought it to the club. You know what I'm saying? And then I still went from the club to, you know, doing functions for churches and things like that right there. Locally in Hickory and in Newton and stuff. Then I met my good friend, Mr. Krispy's, Flip from Flip's Barbershop over in Newton. And it's the coolest cat I've met since I've been here in North Carolina. And that's real. And I tend to get along with people, so I tend to meet people on a fair mindset. So I met him through my brother, Pat. And so he introduced me and stuff. We hooked up. Then when I got up here, me and my brother started my cooking business, you know, Pat and Will's Roadside Grill. We set up here at a gas station, literally outside on the side of the gas station, in the grass. And for the first 6-7 months, almost 8 months that I was here, I was out there every day. Rain, sun, winter time, ice on the ground, snow on the ground, and I'm out there underneath a tarp. Wind blowing, storms, whatever, I'm out there. And so I was just basically, you know, selling little quick stuff, you know, like chili cheese dogs, fries, fish, chicken, burgers, you know what I'm saying, and bites and, you know, different things like that. And I had, you know, fairly cheap prices. And my thing was, I worked it out with the establishment where as though I didn't have to pay. They allowed me to use their electricity, but all their food was free. You know, if I get there in the morning, that means they get a free breakfast, free lunch. If I get there this afternoon, they just get, you know, lunch. If I'm there afternoon, dinner time, then it's lunch and dinner, so forth. But I was out there every day on the side of this building, faithfully. And then it came to a time when my brother was coming out there with me at first. Then it went from he was coming out there with me to you take the truck. And I didn't even have a license at the time. But it wasn't like I had to drive a long ways. It was just like, you know, like a couple of blocks or whatever. So, and everything was still going good. Then it went from that to, I'm not going to be able to let you use the truck to go down there. Then that's basically when our business split up. So Flip was like, well, shoot, bro, I don't really know you like that. But if you want to take and, bring your establishment over to my barber shop, you know what I'm saying? I'll let you do that. You ain't got to pay me nothing. You feel me? So I'm like, well, look, at least let me do you like I know I do the other folks. Cool. All right. So I moved down there, but this time I wasn't outside. I was inside in the back part of the barber shop, and he was in the front part. And then everything was good. While people was getting their hair cut, I was getting their food ready. You know what I'm saying? That way they wouldn't miss their spot. They didn't have to leave to go buy no lunch and stuff like that. Then I changed my, setup up around a little bit since I was inside of walls. And then he went and brought me a refrigerator and brought me another top, a grill top, to cook with. So I'm like, okay, so, everything's moving on. But unfortunately, I wasn't a single man at the time. Which means I had 3 sons with me, plus my wife with me. So she was working, but her money wasn't taking care of all the bills. Okay. And I was making money, but it would be like, okay, the barbershop is closed on Sundays and Mondays every week. Okay, so those 2 days I know I'm not going to make no money. Then it was, I took and messed up my foot at working at McDonald's. And so I have a boot on my foot now. So now I work at McDonald's, I work at Taco Bell, and I'm doing that in the morning time, until like 3 o'clock for about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So now I pick up the other 2 jobs to keep money in. But now I got to walk from, because like I said, I didn't have a license. So I'm walking like a mile, almost 2 miles from the house to the shop. Then I walk from the shop back home, shower up, change, then walk like another 2 miles to Taco Bell. And then when I get off at Taco Bell, I'll walk another mile to McDonald's, then work 3rd shift at McDonald's, and then walk home, which is like 3 miles in the morning time when I get off, somewhere in that range. And I did this every day for about 2 years. And then when I hurt myself, like I said, I hurt myself at McDonald's, when it came time to go to court, it was like, if I choose to sue them, I have to resign from working at McDonald's. It wasn't no significant amount of money, but it was what it was. So I lost a job at McDonald's. Now I'm only at Taco Bell, and I'm working at the barbershop. Okay, so now, like how people is, some people just come with just money for a haircut, and so days will be like, I'll be there all day, might make a couple dollars, might not, you know what I'm saying, or some days where a couple of days went past, I ain't make nothing. Flip be like, well, look, yeah, he'll buy his food, you know what I'm saying, or his dad or his mom will come, or his aunt or something, he'll buy their food, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that right there, just to keep me going, so, but then it came to a time when my rental place started acting real shiesty. So me and my family moved, and we moved out of Newton to over here to Hickory. And when we made that move, by me, I wasn't driving at first, but right before I moved, it was Christmas time. And Christmas time came, and he gave me a set of 15 speakers. And I'm like, dude, what you give me a speaker box for and an amp, and I ain't even got a car? And he was like, dude, the person that you are ain't gonna take long. All right, well, that income tax time came, and I wound up buying his Lexus from him. All right, so when I brought his Lexus, that means I had a vehicle, but like I said, we moved over to Hickory. So when we moved over to Hickory, I stopped cooking at the barber shop, and I was just riding from Hickory to Newton Conover to go to Taco Bell. But then new management had started at Taco Bell, and I was losing hours. And even though I was putting the hard work, and I was training people, and I was a closer, they still was starting to cut my hours. And it wasn't the manager that I was accustomed to working with. It was the new managers that came there at that present time. And so they was illin', and it was a relationship. So she was like, the manager, she would give her old man hours. You know what I'm saying? So they'd be there together to do nothing basically. So anyway, that went that way. So I wound up leaving Taco Bell, and I was started working at the Hampton Inn. So in my process of leaving Taco Bell and starting the job at the Hampton Inn, me and my wife separated. So when we separated, she did some slimy stuff right before we did, and when we moved to Hickory, come to find out, we're married. Now I'm sitting out, we're not going together and saying we're married. It wasn't no common law married. We're married. We signed the papers, okay? So now, she did, like I said, she did some shicey stuff. Told me because of my background, my record, that I couldn't be put on the lease. Okay, because it was not a HUD apartment, but it was an income-based apartment, and they have their own, income HUD, whatever how you call it, process out at the apartment complex that we had moved to. So I was like, okay, not thinking. I went along with it. So now I'm over here for about a year. And so while I'm over here for about a year, she was, not doing right, if you know what I mean. And so one particular night, like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, she woke me up and was like, okay. And so I've been on my own since then. So needless to say, it was 4 something in the morning, and we was between pay periods, and I just paid my half of the bills. So needless to say, besides some gas money, cigarette money, I was broke at the time. So I'm sleeping in my Lexus, okay, and I was taking our homegirl lived in Newton, so she was like, well, look, ain't no hanky-panky going on, but you and just, you can stay here. And I was like, bet, well, I won't be here. I'll just mainly, sleep and shower, you know what I'm saying? Like that. And then I would give her, give her money for letting me stay there for a little period of time. And then our other homegirl over here in Hickory was like, well, shoot, well, if you need to be over this side, you know what I'm saying, because you work on this side, you can stay on the couch, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, cool. All right. So that means I had 2 places to stay, but then it was just me. All right. So now I go to work at Taco Bell, get off at Taco Bell, go over to our friend in Newton, change clothes, shower, then get back in the car and ride over to Hickory and park in the Hampton parking lot and go to sleep until 8 o'clock. So then I was doing that, and then I go to work at the Hampton. And at the time, I went there for what you call maintenance, but I wound up doing rooms, housekeeping. So I was a male housekeeper. So I get off whatever, sometimes 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Times vary because I was playing the rooms. And then I'll go straight to Taco Bell. You know what I'm saying? So then I get a phone call to come over to, my ex's house. So I go to my ex's house, and the cops there. And the cops is like, well, we need to send the kids with you. And I'm like, well, I don't even have my own place. I'm sleeping basically in my car or whatever. But they was like, well, the kids got to go with you because she's going to jail. And I'm like, well, why is she going to jail? Some kind of way. Her friends was there. They was making noise, their kids. So she made our kids go to bed. When she made our kids go to bed, she said that little Will was feisty. So when she said he was feisty, she basically jumped on him, wound up hitting him with something, and he fell. When he fell, he hit his head on the corner of the dresser or something and had this big hell of a fucking knot in the front of his head. So alright, so I get the kids, then I take them to Desiree's house, go get them some stuff and everything. So now she can't be around the kids because she has to go to court. So like I said, so they locked her up, gave the kids to me. Alright, so now I got the kids and I'm taking the kids to Birds. Then when we leave Birds, we'll come back over this side, go to Desiree's, and when we get over there, that's where they'll sleep because the school bus, came over there in the morning time. So, and then I'll be at the parking lot. Alright, so that went on for about a month and so, almost 2 months. Then they was like, okay, the court thing. So Shamar and Zay went back to her house, her apartment. But Will, on the other hand, couldn't go back. So he had to wind up staying with me. So this was like 2016. So Will was with me. All right, so now I'm taking him back and forth to Birds. We stay at Birds, then I take him over. And so he can catch the bus at 6 something in the morning in Hickory to go to school with his brothers, and then I would take him, go drive to the parking lot. Then when I get off, I would go over to go back up to Hickory, pick him up, take him to Desiree Old Bird's house, go to Taco Bell, get off from Taco Bell, then repeat the process again. All right, so that's how I wind up with my first son. So then now DSS is in probing my life. So they're like, well, we told her she has to do this and this type of things. If she doesn't do it, then she can't have the kids. So it means the kids went with me, but if she completed what she was supposed to complete, then the kids can go back with her. But if I felt as though that she was belligerent or any type of way, even intoxicated, or felt as though that it wasn't going to be a good time for the kids to be around her, then I ain't had to let them go there. This was the court's words. So we went through that right there. So Shamar and Zay wound up going back with her. Will stayed with me. Alright, so Will was with me for about a year. And then I wound up getting my apartment. And it was, I believe, July 7th of 2017 is when I got this place right here. So when I got this place, Shamar and Zay came over, went home. got their clothes, and they've been back here ever since with me. So that means I have Little Will, Shamar, and Zay. Alright, Zay was the youngest, and he's quite a bit younger than the other ones. Like, he's 14, Shamar's 18, Will's 19. Alright, so, got them, they in school already, but now I got to do the doctor's appointments and dentist appointments and so forth, you know what I'm saying? So after I take them to do that right there, then next thing you know, everything's going good, and I'm taking care of my kids, and they're doing good in school. Will was in the, he had a little extra, had to get extra help, as far as his learning ability. So he was going to a different school, which is like an hour and a half away, or an hour or so. But anyway, it's a long distance. So he's going there. All right. So, but while he's going there, he's getting A's and B's. He's going on trips. They're doing stuff. They like he's the outstanding kid. He's not getting into no trouble here at all, But then his mother said that she was sick. And I'm like this. If it ain't nothing bad going on, that's your mother. I'm not trying to keep you from your mother, you know what I'm saying? In that situation, I'm not trying to be that type of parent. So as I let him go over there, then he come back and he said he wants to, move with his mom. And I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to do, cool. So he moved with his mom. So when he moved with his mom and stuff, next thing you know, she start calling me, Will's not doing this, Will don't want to listen, Will's arguing back with me, and all this other crazy stuff. And I'm like, okay, before he moved in with you, he didn't argue with you, and there was no problem. There was no problem when he was over here. Okay? So now she wants him out of her house. Okay. So he moves back home with me. Then next thing you know, I get copped at my door. So-called, while he was at her house, she didn't allow him to get a girlfriend. Didn't tell me about a girlfriend. They said he had a friend. Okay. And so I'm like, all right. But I'm just thinking of this homeboy friend, it's a friend. So I wasn't even thinking about girl. But anyway, this girl's mother had her tell the cops that he, forced himself on her, which never happened. But this supposedly went on while he was with his mom, and I wasn't unaware. So when he came back here, he had these problems already. So now I got to take him to this, go to that place and stuff, and he didn't do it. Okay, so found out the girl lied or whatever, so that was dismissed or whatever. Okay, but now I'm starting to see cigarettes missing, you know what I'm saying? So while he was at his mama's house, he done got him a little cigarette habit. Alright. Then on top of that, I look in the closet, and there was a beer can in there. So that means he's drinking now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, he done been to your house. Ain't been there whole year, but in this period of time, he's drinking, he's acting mandish, and he's smoking cigarettes. Okay. So he did something, so I'm like, give me your phone. So when I got his phone, looked at his phone, it's a picture of him in there smoking a blunt like I smoke weed every day. Sitting in her living room in my chair. Yeah, because when I left, she kept all the stuff. So anyway, sitting in my chair, smoking a blunt in front of the window. Okay. So I said that. She tell me it never happened. I'm like, it's a video showing it happened. Okay. well, he didn't get that way from me. You the one that smoke weed. I don't smoke weed. But everybody you hang with does. And the people that you hang with, y'all smoke in the living room or wherever. I don't smoke in front of my kids when I do smoke. I don't smoke around my kids. My friends who smoke aren't around my kids. And the majority of the time when I smoke, I'm not home. But my business and my livelihood is not my child's business or livelihood. Therefore, why should I put that shit in front of my kids, especially when I don't want my kids to do these things? You understand what I'm saying? So, she brings that up, but yet she was a drinker, still is. And she does these things in this face to excuse me. Well, now she's supposed to be sick, so she's supposed to slow down. I don't know for sure. I'm not around her. Don't care. It's not my responsibility. But she drank till she used to pass out. And on that aspect, how can you watch your kids if you drink until you pass out? How do you? Do you know what they're doing? You know what I'm saying? And so, on top of that, she would, manipulate situations like, the reason I drink is what y'all put me through. Okay. What do we put you through? Your kids don't ask you nothing because they paranoid you're going to flip on them every time they ask you a question or say something to you. I don't say nothing to you because majority of times, you get on my nerves and can't have a conversation with a person that's intoxicated because they don't ever want to hear the other side and nothing else counts but what they got to say. Plus, I don't like the way the breath smell. I'm just sorry. So anyway, when this stuff happened, you know what I'm saying? And I'm out the picture, and I'm over here, so I can't see what he's doing when he's at her house to say don't do this or don't do that or whatever. And then by him being there for her schedule and not my schedule, I don't know when to look for him. You know what I'm saying? And then whereas though, because he was younger, so he had to be in the house 8 o'clock, then 8:30, then 9 o'clock, And when he went over there, she jumped his time from that to 10, 11 o'clock, shit like that right there. 12 o'clock on the weekend, and I'm like, okay. So it was like a country kid going to the city and had no boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Because what I was instilling in him, she just threw that all out the window. Then when he was here, he was cleaning. Him and his brothers was cooking dinners. They was washing their own clothes, spending their own money, you know what I'm saying, and keeping account and everything. Learn how to buy their own clothes and everything. So he was learning some stuff. All right. Now, he come back. It's like everything that I told him, he don't know. He can't cook like his brothers. He don't clean up like his brothers did or like he used to. I be like, yo, dude, you stink. You know what I'm saying? I mean, keeping it real. You need to take and wash your ass. You got hair in places you ain't have that before. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm, getting on him, but trying to be, straight with him without dogging him out. So, but you gotta hurt a person's feelings, let them know you can't be walking around with smelly balls all up in girls' faces and think they dig that shit. And if they do dig that shit, you need to check the girl. Because I ain't trying to be with no girl who like to smell stink. But anyway, so, I was, getting on him, letting him know that type of stuff, whatever. And then told him, look, dude, you young, you just starting this stuff right here because you're at your mom's house. You got time to stop it. You know what I'm saying? And then he like, yeah, so he got back in school. I got him back in school, you know, because it was like the first bit of COVID or whatever. So I got him back because you know how he had him out, and while he was at his mom's house, he just she ain't let when it was time to go back, he didn't. She ain't even say, you know, it wasn't like she had a problem with it. So then I'm telling him that you know, try to stop, and I ain't giving you no cigarettes and stuff like that because you ain't 18 and you ain't smoking in my house and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? And the shit that you were doing out at your mama's house, you ain't doing that here. Your brothers don't do it. I don't do it. I don't drink, so ain't no drinking in my house. That's how it is. All right. So I lay down the foundation. Mind you, he's still under 18. Next thing you know, some stuff happened with him with another girl, saying that he did this and did that, whatever. So I get that straight. All right. Then when I get that straight, I'm like, dude, stop going with these girls that act like your mama because they set you up for failure. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you better take your time and stuff like that right there. Look into this person before you go messing with this person, because every person out there talking about they want to do it ain't got that right mentality to do it, and then y'all underage any damn way. You feel me? That's the last thing that be on your mind. So anyway, so like I said, so he back in school, so I try to, you know, get him straight with that right there, and he like, yeah, Dad, you right. Then his mama, I'm sick again. I'm about to die. They said I got cancer. They said I got this and that. So all right, but she ain't got no paperwork for nothing. But everybody telling her what's this and stuff was wrong with you. So now basically she gets him to come over there again. Alright. So he goes over there this time. So when he gets over there this time, she like, you gotta get a job. So she convinced him into getting a job. So he got a job. Then when he was getting paid, she took half his check. Then when it came down to income tax time, she took his income tax paper, filed him with her income tax papers, and then told him she'll give him his money when she feels like it. And then told him to get out. So now he came back to my place. And like, I'm like, dude, I'll never do nothing wrong to you. All I tell you is to do the right thing, and you keep going against it by going over there with your mama. And I told him the truth. I'm like, look, your mama may love you, but every mother ain't for her children. Sorry. Some mamas is just for themselves and manipulate their children and everybody around the situation to think that they put them in a position where as though they thinking that their parents need them so bad. So now it's like you trying to make them think like it's a dependent type of thing. So that ain't love. That's manipulation. Especially when you just get them over there to do shit you don't want to do. Like for instance, if you want a bottle of liquor or a thing of beer or whatever the hell you want to do, why must your child have to walk to the store with you? If you didn't feel safe walking to the store to get it, your ass don't need it. But you let him know where everything is, who all to talk to, when he wants it. Ahead of time. Don't you know you teach your children, learn everything that you do. So everything that we do in front of them, they learn it. So then, but like I said, so he get into this thing, so I look into his cell phone again. This time, it's messages from his mom talking about, if you want a cigarette, you better come and get them because I ain't walking over there to give them to you. He ain't 18. He can't even buy cigarettes. He ain't got no money to buy the cigarettes. So why are you, you encouraging him to smoke? You know what I'm saying? And so then she gonna make the comment, well, if he wants cigarettes, he gotta buy them himself because he ain't gonna be smoking all mine. or give me the money and I'll buy him for him. Huh? He ain't 18. So now he 19. Guess what, y'all? He over there again. But she tells everybody, I got him brainwashed. I brainwashed the kids not to love her, not to want to be around her. I just don't get it. And so no matter what I try to instill in them, she tries to reverse it and says that she's the better parent. Now, if she taught the boys all good things, love, respect, how to grow up to be the right way, the way so you won't be trying to manipulate your woman or you won't fall victim to a manipulative woman, teaching values, morals, standards, stuff like that right there, every last one of my kids can move over there with her and then I'll pay child support. But she don't. She like, I'm gonna talk to you like a nigga in the street. One, they're not niggas. Two, they ain't never been in the street. You don't disrespect me. You won't disrespect women. This and that and that and that and this and this and this. You got to be strong. Get a strong woman. This and that and that. You better get it you a woman like me. No. Far from that. But as I was saying, so try to bring my boys up right. Basically the moral of the story. Try to teach them the right things. Now, I was taught that's what a parent's supposed to teach their kids. If I'm doing it wrong, I would have welcomed somebody else to raise my kids or at least tell me the right stuff to do. But she, which is his mother, which is their mother, always say that I manipulate the subject. I manipulate the people to believing that I'm such a nice guy and she's such a villain. Put it this way, Jesus Christ couldn't convince every man of the world to follow him. So how can I do it? What makes me better? What makes me better than Yahshua? What makes me that much more convincing that people follow in my footsteps? Do as I could do. My mind and my words are so controlling over people that they fall victim underneath my spell. Like I am the love potion number 9 and everybody flocks to me. Well, if that was the case, I would have 100,000 views on everything that I drop, millions of followers on all my platforms, and I'll have plaques behind me with saying YouTube this and YouTube that, trimming the shit around it. But you don't see that because I don't have that. So therefore, how the fuck am I so damn manipulative and making people follow everything I do? I just don't see it. I mean, I tend not to curse people out when I meet them. I tend not to jump on people when I meet them. I tend to, if a person get out of line, I tend to choose to talk than fight like I did when I was a kid. When I see people or see situations getting hostile that don't involve me or who I'm with, I take them out of the picture because I already know where it's leading. I've been a bouncer in clubs. I did security. I did private security at house parties and homes. I did security for different stars that came to town who just need somebody to walk around with. So I pretty much know character. And I didn't know all this character when I was younger because I wasn't looking for character. I was looking for $1. But see, now I'm looking for tranquility. So I tend to see a lot more than I didn't used to see I'm in tune with a lot more. Mainly me. I didn't know me before. Me was everywhere. Anything that you wanted to do, me was down for. I abused my body some, and I've helped my body some. I abused my relationships, and I've helped relationships. But it is what it is. I was taught one way, but now that I'm older, I'm a totally different way. I thank Yahweh for that. I thank Yah. I mean, it was times where I used to have dreams where I was like, I ain't gonna make it at 21. Hey, I turned 21. I ain't gonna make it at 25. Hey, I turned 25. And after that, I was like, whoa, I'm 30. 40. Whoa, 50. And the Lord blessing me to still keep going. But now, when I talk to people, people understand me. People comprehend me. People listen to me. That don't mean I'm manipulating the situation. That means I'm usually talking with honesty and with truth, with clarity, so they can understand my words. And if they don't know the visions, they can feel the visions that's in my mind. I don't speak from my heart. I speak from my stomach. So once again, this is True Streets. True Streets. Could have been a pastor. I am the hood guru. This is my life. These are my thoughts. These are my opinions. I don't force them on nobody. I don't wish nobody no ill will. I just try to tell it like it is. Sometimes I'm goofy. Sometimes I'm a comedian. Sometimes I'm straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? I've straddled the fence. So many of us do. But I'm not straddling the fence because I like to straddle the fence. I'm straddling the fence because I'm still trying to find what part of the fence to step over that is still dry land. Because you can go jump your ass over the fence and it could be a ditch there, it could be a cliff there, it could be quicksand there, it could be a damn sinkhole there, it could be a fucking tree, it could be a wall, it could be anything. You just don't jump your ass over the fence and think you're gonna make it. So you got to climb the fence, look down, make sure it's clear, then step over the fence. You know what I'm saying? Get your ducks in order. Don't just put your bag on your back and jump out the window. Some people it works for. Majority it don't. I'm just so tired of looking at this daggone little stream of smoke flicker across the bottom of the daggone screen. But anyway, so like I was saying, these is my thoughts, these is my opinions. You know what I'm saying? So hit them comments up, hit them likes up, subscribes up. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode. With Yahweh's blessing, you'll tune into a whole lot more. Like I said, I'm growing this family with you, for you. As I want to be part of this family, as so shall you. So here we go, True Streets. Once again, if you don't know me by now, when I look my head to the right, right over there, ain't too far away. Guess what? You already know what time it is.